like Bombad.
Welcome to the Bombad Cast.
What is up, my beautiful Bombad family? Welcome to another episode, another week, a very special episode indeed, because we got, our buddy, our Ewok-eyed friend, our, what appears to be, in a forest, but it's actually an inside area. I don't know. He's in some sort of force realm. The one and only, like we always say here, Cannon Junkie Jerry Cable, my friend, my buddy Ewok-Eye, man. What's up?
How's it going, Scotty? I'm doing pretty good, man. I think I posted a tweet the other day. By the time you're listening to this, it's Tuesday. So a couple days ago, you'll see I posted. I'm doing my pirate radio thing, just kind of hanging out in a random hallway in the Gaylord Opryland Resort, beautiful, beautiful Opryland Resort in Nashville, Tennessee. So you're going to be hearing ambient country music coming through the speakers in this hallway because there's not a hallway without speakers, I found. But to be honest, it's quite impossible to go through every hallway of this place because it is obscenely massive. So
Yes. I've been before. Yeah. It is the size of the Death Star. It's like a small moon.
It's kind of like living in like a biodome or something. It feels like it's interesting. And how in the world did they get? I'm going to start rambling on about this place if I'm not careful. But Scott, we have a guest this week.
That we do. We do.
We have.
Who is it?
Well, I'm going to tell you if you just hold on a sec. No.
Who are you?
No. It is the one and only, as we say here, Jundland Jake, Mr. Jake Workman. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I am doing fantastic after that huge introduction. That was the best introduction I've ever had on the very limited amount of things I've been introduced on. So, thank you very much.
Hey, no problem. Happy to oblige. We usually kind of go very grand on those things because that's just kind of, we feel our emotions very deeply here on the Bombad Cast. So.
I appreciate it.
It's like the 20th Century Fox theme. It's got a lot of build-up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I got from it.
Oh, perfect. I'm glad we emulated an opening from the 1920s. It's very vaudevillian of us. It's just what we need. But anyway, guys, we know why we're here. Does anyone realize why we are here?
I don't know. I'm still kind of distracted by the country music in the hallway. Keep going.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, we're here because our parents brought us into this world. But we're also here because there was a really big event. It was a triple event. There's triple people in this podcast. It was a triple event.
Oh, that was accidental too. Wow.
Yeah, man, what are the odds of that? And we have triple the amount of stories and triple the amount of excitement in this podcast because it was
like
triple
poetry.
Force.
It rhymes.
Wait, what? It is Triple Force Friday, and we're here to talk about the amazing experiences of not just the most recent Force Friday, but we talked about the, other Force Fridays and things we've all fell in love with in regards to merchandise. But before we get into that real big convo, I got to ask a couple questions here. I got a couple things I want to update y'all on. Jerry, what has been going on in your world, my man, your Bombad living?
Well, Scotty, I've been hanging out here in the beautiful city of Nashville for the last couple of days. But before I left, I had a chance to send out the poor, sad, neglected little dictators, the little Snoke figures that we finally got adopted by one Elder Pug 27 and one Chodna Zoop. So at Elder Pug 27 and at Chodna Zoop. If you guys don't follow them, go ahead, go give them a follow. But hey, congrats, guys, on the new additions to your families. And don't turn your back on them for too long. And definitely don't feed them after midnight because just don't.
No, you
Anyway.
can't. They'll try to conquer the universe with the same exact type of aesthetic that another person tried to conquer the universe, or I guess the house with.
They'll try to hang red curtains in your house everywhere, like not just on the windows, like everywhere. They're going to invite creepy people over with like glowing eyes. They may try to bridge your minds with random people, like the mailman or something. So just
Is any of that supposed to sound like a bad thing? I mean,
You're right.
It sounds kind of fun. Like that room, that
I dig
Snoke's
it.
room in TLJ was actually like pretty sweet looking. Like
It was.
That's a cool aesthetic. Just very, very flammable for a space for a space craft.
it is.
I agree.
One spark and the whole room's gone. Yeah.
I know it was pretty impressive too. It was
Yeah.
like maybe we shouldn't make these curtains out of flash paper, but who cares? It's fine.
The OSHA, I guess, or lack of OSHA requirements for any Imperial or First Order place is insane. Like, no sprinklers went off whenever those flames come in, and like, there was no security camera that we know of that was like making other people aware of. Oh shit, like it's just like you watch these movies and you're like, why don't they have side rails or guardrails or any sort of safety? Like my favorite part's the bridge of the Star Destroyer, where it's just like, the ground like has these like kind of like, I wouldn't want to say like trenches really in there. Like how do they get in it? How do they get out of it?
How
Are
many
they stuck
people
there all
fall in
day?
them? Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if Vader made a misstep and just like a 7-foot tall Darth Vader fell onto the computer console.
Just does that that sound when Luke like throws that like pipe of steam in his face in Empire. He goes, "Roar!" And just you would. The thing about that is you couldn't. It would be so hard to like. You would not want to be the guys working there whenever Vader falls into those pits, because if you like go or you like laugh or crack a smile or anything, you are dead.
Just imagine if like his helmet popped off a little bit and you see like the back of his gross skull. It would just be. I can just see it now. It'd be such a nightmare, and it'd just be so embarrassing. It would just for everyone involved.
Oh yeah.
He would probably just kill everyone because he won't want telling anyone else about it.
Yeah, there's no way he's letting any of those guys live. Like he would get up and go, nothing to see here, and then just commence to like chopping.
Yeah. I mean, of course.
That's just one of the things. So speaking of Darth Vader falling into a Star Destroyer pit, Scott, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. It's a lot like that. My kids had their fair this weekend, and
cool.
like they have this thing called Fair Act. Whenever they do this Fair Act, it's like a song and dance. I had to teach them and coordinate with them, and it was fun and it was cute. And I've seen them perform it a couple of times, and yeah. So then that was all day Friday, and then Saturday. Friday evening we had like a high school homecoming game, which I went to, and when I was in the band, and so a bunch of me and my friends from high school played, instruments we used to play in the band. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. And the other life update was my lack of Force Friday. This is the first time since 2015 that I had a poorly. It was just not what I expected, but. It's okay. We're okay. I'm still going to go grab my Mando figure at some point. I'm still going to get some Funko Pops. I'm still going to get a new shirt. But, other than that, life's been pretty good. I am kind of ready just to keep going with Star Wars because, I was looking at my Disney Plus subscription 36 days. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's wild.
Just a little over a month, man, and we'll be there.
It's insane. So it'd be here before we know it. It's just, I can't believe it. But life's been good. Can't complain. And I'm not stuck listening to country music on repeat like Jerry is, but I'm doing pretty.
It's pretty great. I'm slowly going insane.
Yeah.
Probably gonna claw my eyes out by the time we're done recording this, but it's okay. If you love country music, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, and I got to be careful. I'm in a hallway in the middle of Nashville, so
might get killed by a cowboy.
I might get stomped to death with some spurs or something.
Yeah, please be careful.
Yeah, but anyway, hey, you know what, Jake? Let's get your update, man. How you been doing? How's life treating you?
Life has been treating me pretty well. Hasn't been bad. I just celebrated my 26th birthday this week, so that was nice.
Hey,
Yeah, Wednesday. It was
congrats.
fun.
Happy birthday, man. Here, you look here. You're broadcasting out the birthday greetings here on the Bombad Cast. That's cool.
Thank you so
excellent.
much. But yeah, around my birthday is always such a great time, especially for Star Wars. It seems like every year this is when like a lot of new information starts rolling out. So I look forward
That's
to
awesome.
my birthday a lot. But yeah, Force Friday happened. My area is not too up to speed on Force Friday, so we don't get a lot of the merchandise. But grabbed what I could, some Funko Pops and things like that. So it's all
There you go.
all good. Yeah.
Hey, man, whatever you can get, like whenever you seriously, if you were, I don't know about you guys, but I saw a lot of people who they were just kind of like scavenging things here and there. It was like we were a bunch of rays, like out
Yes.
there this weekend, like looking for what we could find. I lucked out in that I'm here in Nashville at this resort, and the mall next door has a Disney store. That was where I found the most stuff.
You got really
That's really
lucky.
wicked. That's fantastic. That is
Yeah.
fantastic.
And it was like that's where I felt the most Force Friday was over there. Like even the Target locally here didn't have everything put out. They had the carbonized Mandos, but that
Okay.
was it. Or if you Mandas.
Yeah.
I heard someone
it's
talking about
Mando.
that recently. How it's like, it's like there's no O in there until the end. But Mando is easier for me to say. So
Right.
Me too. But no, man, that's great. For me, the closest Disney store is in New Orleans, and I was not fixing to drive to New Orleans.
No.
After having a whole day of school and doing all this just to get some toys, but that's okay. It's still awesome, And I'm glad that a lot of us here got to at least go out and maybe find something. If it's not what we wanted, we still found it.
Yeah.
And I say this: I had a lot of fun in the aisle because me and my buddy went after that alumni game, and we found those lightsabers that you can record into. And you say like you can, and I don't know. There's a famous jazz riff, and he recorded the jazz riff into
Okay.
it, and it was that's the jazz riff, and he recorded it into the lightsaber, and he was just swinging it around. I'll probably post it on Twitter, but
That's great.
it was just so silly.
See,
So-
I heard
I
about
love
those, but I don't know if I saw them. That's like, why? That's kind of like an odd like choice, but it's so cool. Like here, record
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
you want to in this.
And like as a kid, I felt like that would have been hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
dude.
wish
I'm
I'd had
going to
something like
surprise
that.
him. Yes, I'm going to surprise him with it for his birthday next week.
Oh, dude,
'Cause
that's awesome.
we had so much fun with it, and he's a pretty average Star Wars fan. He loves the movies, but like he's not like the kind of guy that's going to do this with me. But yeah, I wanted to just surprise him with that. It was like $30, might as well.
That's
just a
awesome.
funny gift.
Yeah.
Dude,
He,
that's awesome.
he records and does music too, so maybe he'll throw it in one of the songs.
That
You know,
is
just,
pretty awesome.
His voice going because it's weird. The faster you swing it, the higher the pitch will go, or the slower you swing it, the lower the pitch will be. So it's kind of like an odd little instrument. I don't know.
I need to buy
That's
one of these.
crazy.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
Not what you expected, but anyway, whoa. Anyway,
Anything.
Jerry, give us something that we won't expect. You know what I'm talking about, man?
Tell you what, it's so unexpected. Even I forgot to read the show notes about it. A Bombad fact of the show, guys. Here it is. The Bombad fact is, I forgot.
Well, we can move on. Yay!
Here, you know what? You know what the Bombad fact of the show is that I saw actually a tweet from Ahmed Best.
Yeah,
Someone
okay.
was talking. It was like a podcast or someone. They were talking about the episodes of the what was it? The 6th season of the Clone Wars with him
Bombad
and
Jedi?
Mace. Well, no, not Bombad Jedi. It was the Disappeared. The ones where they go to
Oh, yeah.
Bardota.
Yeah.
And then they end up going to that other like desert. It feels like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like him and Mace. They actually ended up being really cool episodes. And all I'll say from that is he quoted someone's tweet and said that, man, we had a blast recording these and that we had to keep stopping because we were dying laughing the whole time. They
That's
had just like such
awesome.
and that's I know like usually people talk about like joke about like, oh, we're gonna skip the Jar Jar episodes. Am I right? But these are a couple. It's only 2 episodes. It's 2 episodes of the Clone Wars that I feel like is quintessential, and you guys know we're Jar Jar positive on this show.
Absolutely.
So,
You gotta be.
well, I mean, look at what Ahmed has done. What he kind of went through, and I mean, he just. I think he did fantastic, and
Me too.
Me
just
too.
he deserves all of the love and adoration, and just it was cool to kind of get that little bit of behind the scenes that like and I forget who does the voice of Mace in the Clone Wars. It's definitely not Samuel.
No, it's
Samuel
not.
L. Jackson.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But shout out to him too. So.
Jerry.
Yeah, Jake, you were like getting a peek behind the curtain, my man, and the curtain is very thin and also made of flash paper like Snoke's. And so it burns down like pretty much weekly on this show. But
And
yeah,
we don't
yeah,
have
there you go.
any
I guess
OSHA requirements here either.
there's your Bombad fact of the show. I pulled one out of my butt. Okay, there we go.
That was pretty good.
It was good.
Thank you.
It doesn't
Well,
really smell like butt, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, yuck.
And by the way, the voice actor for Mace was Terrence C. Carson. So shout out to Terrence C. Carson. Yeah.
Fantastic. Hey, thank you for your contributions to the Star Wars universe as well, sir, because I thought he did a fantastic job as Mace in that entire
he really
series.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited. I'm hoping we get a little more in the what's to come in February. So.
I'm sure we will.
Heck
I
yeah,
agree.
man. All right. Well,
I
hey,
completely agree.
let's. What do you say we move on from this little tiny mini horror show here and go into news?
Let's do it.
So, our news this week, I mean, it was not quite as dense as the week previous with all these image drops and Kevin Feige and Deborah Chow, which was amazing, We
Yeah.
kind of need a little bit of a break in news coverage, but we still got some insane tidbits from New York Comic Con. And with that being said, we got some things about Resistance Reborn, some more things about Luminous Beings, the undisclosed, or I'm sorry,
Project
the
Luminous.
disclosed, the one we don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Novel in the works. We got a new cover. A new cover for the Kylo Ren. The Knights of Ren comic.
No, it's Kylo Ren.
And then-
The Rise of Kylo Ren.
The Rise. I'm sorry, the Rise of yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that one. And we got.
Come on, Scott.
That's about it, actually. But the Resistance Reborn information we got was insanity.
It was.
I mean, like a slap in the face of new canon and old canon. I'm just blown away. And also, real quick, before we get into books, it's been confirmed, and I don't remember which podcast confirmed it or which researcher confirmed it, but we will 100% get back Dennis Lawson as Wedge for the episode 9, Rise of Skywalker.
That's crazy.
So,
Well, I know who
that's
it was.
amazing.
I know who it was, and I'll give him the shout out, but I'm not really sure why they're breaking this. It was Rebel Force Radio,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, okay.
So that was I thought that was a little odd because I didn't think they really cared, but
I didn't either,
Yeah.
but
I guess they care that Wedge is coming back, so that's cool. Hey, if it brings them back, if it brings people back in and stops them from spreading junk, I'm all for it. Like I don't know,
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, Wedge is coming back.
I think we're gonna get a lot of that with episode 9. A lot of return of some OG characters, or even some mentions of OG characters, in which that'll those little fan moments are gonna really kind of bring back a lot of people that have such negative connotations about the sequel trilogy. But
Right.
that's just
Well,
that's just how I see it.
not to get into that or anything, but let me say this: I want to blend up this movie and have it injected into my veins right now because
I can't wait.
everything they announce just gets me more excited.
yeah.
Like-
Oh my god, totally.
It's just I don't know, and the whole idea that all these old Rebel Alliance heroes are coming back is just really cool. And I'll tell you that the Resistance Reborn book, whenever they announced those books, I think it was on May the 4th this year, if I remember
was it,
right.
yeah.
They actually announced what like that and Force Collector and stuff. the one that caught my eye, and I was like, I have to read that one before the movie comes out, or listen to it or whatever, is Resistance Reborn. I've been so psyched for this because we haven't really gotten terribly much in the way of like novels about the sequel trilogy characters, and the floodgates are about to be open. All the questions people have about like where's so and so and blah blah blah, all the little gaps that they want filled in.
Yeah, get ready.
That honestly they shouldn't take time for in the movies. They shouldn't take time to sit down and do a PowerPoint. But like we're about to get like the books that we've been waiting for and the answers. Like just wait, man. After 9 comes out, after Rise of Skywalker comes out, we're going to be getting like just inundated, and I am ready for it.
Well, didn't someone say, like, I'm not mistaken, back in May, that was like, this book is a must-read if you want to have, like, if you want to take everything in for episode 9. I'm not mistaken, someone did mention that, like, someone on the creative team said that.
I feel like I remember that something along the same lines of that being said.
I would love that. I mean, I really enjoyed Catalyst. Catalyst was a great book.
It was.
And it kind of let me take in Rogue One a little bit more. I really did like it. So maybe this book will do the same for me. But my issue is we've got an unbelievable amount of content coming out, starting November 12th and starting today with Resistance.
Yes.
It's like...
So excited.
It's just... From this day till about January, we are going to be so overwhelmed with content. But, that's the case. And I'm going to have to get this book in somehow, record this podcast somehow, watch all these shows somehow, and keep up with the news, the trailer drops. I mean, and I have a gut feeling, now this is just my prediction too, that we're going to get one more Mando trailer like 10 days before release.
We probably
that'll
will.
like really, like that'll have like an Easter egg in them that'll really drive some people home. Like,
really try to get those subscribers.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's going to be one last huge drop of something for that. So
I agree.
Just how I feel. But yeah, no. Back to Resistance Reborn. We like. I think they posted 5 pages or 10 pages from the book, or like just maybe I don't even know, maybe less than that of like the opening parts of the book, and the mentions they drop are just absolutely insane. Like we always wanted to know what happened to 2 of these characters after The Last Jedi. Where they went, and now we got confirmation that I forget what was I know now. Zay Versio. No, was it Versio or was it whatever her
Zay
dad's
Versio.
name was?
Iden was her mother. Yeah.
Yes.
The Battlefront 2 campaign, the extra content, it ended, and everyone was like, well, where the heck are they?
Right.
Yeah.
Her and Is it Shriv or Shreve? How do you say his name?
It's Shriv, I think. And put Shriv in live action, man. My gosh, I love that. I love that.
See, those two, when I read that, I was like, man, that's such a great way to tie it in.
It is.
The last one blew my mind. I did not expect that. I had to text Jerry, and Jerry didn't even believe me. It was such a random person to throw in at the very end. But we got the return of Zay and Shriv for our Battlefront people. But the last one was from Empire Strikes Back. Haven't really heard about him since. And I'm talking about the one and only General Riken.
Yes.
What? Okay. How the heck? Because wasn't he like in his 50s in Empire Strikes? I mean, I guess he could still be. Akbar came back, but it's easier when it's like not. I don't know. I'm all for it, but I'm just like, how are they going to explain?
Too.
Was he like just 22 and like a really heavy smoker? Like he was really hitting the death sticks or something? You know?
I don't know.
Well, he died in 2004. Like the actual actor passed away.
The actor, right?
So I don't suspect we'll see General Riken in episode 9.
Yeah.
But
I always. Sorry, I was going to say I always wondered where he went after Empire because we never saw him in Return of the Jedi, if I'm remembering correctly. And so I'd always like wondered like did he die during the Battle of Hoth? Like what happened? Where's Riken? But no, this is really cool if they're bringing him back in somehow. Maybe it's a son,
Maybe.
or someone. But maybe we'll get answers as to where he comes from. I don't know. That just to me makes a little more sense. I mean, I'm cool with him coming in a hover chair, all Charles Xavier from the '90s style, you know?
Yeah.
And like just saying like, you're a good man, Poe Dameron. You know,
Yeah.
I'm down. Like, just give it to me.
Even Leia was surprised, which is interesting. So I guess Leia hasn't been in communications with Riken in 30 years either. You know, I'm pretty sure she was like, and you know, her mouth would, or they said something in there where she was like completely shocked.
Yeah.
That he walked off, and like, you know, because they was like, "Do you know who this is? This is," and then he's like, "Yes, that's General Riken." And then the book ends. I mean, like, I guess the.
Oh, see, I need to still
section
read
ends.
the entire excerpt. That's awesome.
It was surprising because I had saw it tweeted, and then I was like, well, I might as well just go look and see who the heck they're talking about. Who could this surprise really be? And like, that was a great name drop, because if it was Wedge, it'd been like, oh, that's awesome, great tie-in. But of all people, General Riken, that's a twist. That's awesome.
Between him and Wedge, I'm geeked. Like, I love, like, I was that guy, the lone person in Rogue One whenever I first saw it in my screening. Whenever Gold Leader and Red Leader popped up, like Garvin, like Dave Drace or whatever, and then like Dutch Vander, I was like, yeah, you know? Oh, man. And it's just, people are like, what, you're excited for these old guys? I'm like, yeah, they're cool. But just, I don't know, give me all of the original trilogy, like Rebel pilots, man. Let's bring them back in to for the final fight against the First Order, man. Oh, I'm just, seriously, we have to wait till December. So
Yeah, it's getting hard, isn't it?
it's getting very hard.
But
man.
But it's so close. I mean, we are so close to being there.
I know.
Like, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
I don't know if you guys agree with me, and then we can move on after from this if you want to. But I don't know if you feel this way too, guys. But I feel like my hype for this film is almost to, if not slightly above, Force Awakens levels.
Man,
I don't know.
good point.
It definitely is for me.
I'm getting more and more hyped, dude.
Yep.
It's mine is the conclusion of it. Like, how are they really going to do that? Like, that's what I can't believe is they're going to really wrap it up. And like, apparently, from what everyone's saying, they're going to wrap up not just the holes in, you know, or I guess the stories in this movie, this series, but the prequel and original trilogy. I just don't know what they're going to do. I just know I trust JJ. That's it.
It is
100% trust him.
It is worrisome. It's kind of got me a little nervous. I mean, I trust JJ and all the creatives also, but it's a lot to wrap up. I mean,
It is
It's so much.
Well, and
three
everyone.
trilogies.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever been like really. I mean, you can make an argument for like the MCU with what they did with Endgame, but still, that's that's a long 22 movie arc. This is still, I don't know. It's 3 trilogies that kind of were their own encapsulated story.
Right.
I can't think of any. I don't think it's ever been attempted. And people will say, the thing you hear thrown around is JJ's not a closer. And as we know, cookies are for closers. But I don't know. I think we're gonna see JJ chomping on a big old chocolate chip come December. So I think
definitely
we're doing good.
With some awesome surprises. But yeah, more of New York Comic Con. We got some news about luminous beings. Not really news, actually. We didn't get much of anything, but we know this much, is that it's going to be a very special title and a special, work. I know it's going to be a book, right? That's definitely been confirmed. And it's got maybe 6 authors tied to it. Some of the best of Star Wars authors.
Oh, yeah.
And also, I failed to mention this in our show notes. They announced another Thrawn trilogy.
Yep.
I don't know how happy John Hoey will be about it, but I'll tell you this much: I'm pretty pumped. I love Thrawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see James Bainey? James posted that meme. It said actual timeline of Thrawn novels, and it was like 3 Thrawns and then 3 other Thrawns in the line, and between them was like today, tomorrow.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Pretty great. So maybe this is where we're gonna get our answers of him and Ezra.
Maybe, because like the weird part was it said it dealt with Thrawn going into the unknown regions, but as we know, I didn't finish reading. Dang it, what's it called? The most recent Thrawn novel. I have it in my audiobook still. I need to blow through it, but I don't know how it ends. And I imagine it might end in a way for it to open up these ideas. But Thrawn's ending was in Rebels, like his real ending was in Rebels. So I don't know. It's just I'm just very eager to see what this is going to be.
Well,
Right.
Because to announce another trilogy is pretty. I guess you could say, and not edgy. It's just like, dang. I mean, Timothy's on stop. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. That poor dude.
Well,
Yeah.
Is it been confirmed at all that this trilogy takes place after the trilogy we already have?
No, but it said it just takes place in the unknown regions. That's it.
Right, which is where he came
That's
from.
where he comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be a
So
pretty.
I
you're,
don't know.
you're right. Yeah.
Which would be great.
It would be, but I
would
don't
be
know
awesome.
how that could connect to anything else, Star Wars that we have right now, because Thrawn wasn't even on the map until that first Thrawn novel.
Yep.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of mystery around that, but I'm definitely excited for it. I have not finished Thrawn
Heck
Treason,
yeah.
so I don't know how that whole thing ends. But
Yeah.
Yeah, neither have I. But from what how far I'm probably about 2 hours into the audiobook, 3 hours into the audiobook, and it's really good.
Right.
It's
I
a
really-
solid Thrawn novel.
Yeah. I see, because I haven't even started it yet. I would love to see. I'm telling you guys, I gotta get back on top of my books and stuff. It's just kind of been I've been off of it, and I can no longer call myself a canon junkie if I do not get back on top of books. So
can't lose that title.
No.
You got to get back on
yeah,
it.
I can't lose it, man. I can't. I gotta keep. It's my handle, for corn's sakes.
Exactly.
We also got a new cover for I think the Rise of Kylo Ren.
Yes.
And it's the one with one half of his face is the TLJ young Ben Solo look, and the other one's like this dark long haired Kylo Ren with the angry eyes and the scar. I mean, it's an excellent piece.
It is.
That was I saved it on my phone. I wanted to make it my background, but I'm like, maybe not. That's kind of weird. Just like a young man's face on my background. But I mean, you can't beat my Mando background right now. I'm waiting for that. But yeah, no, that was interesting. And something that someone pointed out was they had not a print, but like a poster of or a picture of the Rise of Kylo Ren, was it Kylo Ren? The Rise of Ren? What's it called? The Knights of Ren? What do they call the new comic book? What's it called?
The Rise of Kylo Ren.
Ren.
Is that what it's called? Okay, because
It is.
for some reason his helmet was covering the part that said Ren, and it looks like the Rise of Kylo Ben.
Whoa.
Did you notice that?
No.
That would be
Yeah,
a bold
it
choice,
was-
Kylo Ben.
It was kind of weird, but yeah.
The
That was one
end of the
things
comic.
that,
The end of the comic. Spoilers. He goes. Someone says, "Hey, maybe you should change your last name to Ren instead of Ben." And he goes, "Oh, cool. Okay." That's the end.
That sounds
Delete.
awesome.
Yeah, that was on Reddit, I'm sure.
That's excellent. But yeah, no, New York Comic Con was fairly tame, I would say. Unless I missed a couple of things, Jake. You got anything you want to add? Or did I?
There was the Clone Wars anthology book that's coming out. Evidently, it's like a collection of short stories that take place in the Clone Wars era, and that's
cool.
exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's
This is the first time we're hearing about this stuff, guys. By the way, me and Scotty both been kind of busy this weekend. So go ahead, continue, Jake. That's exciting, though.
yeah, it's
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's not a lot of information out about it, but there's some great authors on there attached to this, and yeah, like I said, evidently it's just a collection of. Did you guys read the 40th anniversary, From a Certain Point of View short story collection?
Yes.
I loved that novel.
it's anything like that-
I ate it up.
Me too.
Oh.
I've read it 3 or 4 times all the way through now. It's just incredible.
It's so good.
But yeah, evidently I guess it's along the lines of that, just for the Clone Wars. So that's exciting.
Oh my gosh,
That is awesome.
that is
very
that's
unexpected.
really exciting.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm starting to think that that's what Project Luminous might be, but for like Empire Strikes Back, because you know how From a Certain Point
Right.
of View was A New Hope's perspective. All of those stories were took place during A New
Yeah.
Hope. So
Right.
I'm wondering if Project Luminous, since we're coming up on the 40th anniversary of Empire, if Project Luminous
Luminous
might
beings.
be the same kind of deal just with Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what I've kind of been speculating myself too, and I seriously think you're onto something there because it just lines up too perfectly because Yoda says that line in Empire, luminous beings are we.
Right.
It's the 40th of it. It just the pieces are just kind of all lining up. and
Exactly.
I'm down for both of those. Like,
For sure.
And honestly, I wouldn't care if it was 40 different perspectives.
Yep.
As long as they're just really good stories. Because, be honest, I love that book. But some of them were kind of silly and kind of just felt out of place.
Yeah.
Like the Aunt Beru one was just, to me, is just bizarre short story.
It was.
But like the Obi-Wan one was amazing.
Yeah.
And the I like the Grand Moff Tarkin one too. It's
Absolutely.
funny. And the mouse droid and stuff, I thought that was very clever. But like there's some in there, the Dianoga one was also very interesting. But like most of those were just like, they were hit or miss. But like if it's only 6 stories or maybe 10 stories, that'd be amazing.
Right.
From different perspectives. I would love that. Longer too.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome. That'd be ideal. But no, that's really cool. Anything else was announced?
Actually, the big one, Ray Carson is taking up the Rise of
Oh.
Skywalker novelization.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
have you guys read Most Wanted by Ray Carson, the solo tie?
yeah. It was
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, I liked it.
Right. I think that it was just like a young adult novel, so I'm really excited to see how she takes on, like this project that's not a young adult novelization. It's the novelization for the film. And
Right.
Yes.
I loved Most Wanted. I did, and this was really exciting for me to see that she's getting this opportunity to do this. And a lot of people were thinking that it might be Jason Fry again. We didn't know who it was going to be. Honestly, I was kind of, I was hoping for someone like Claudia Gray or somebody like that
Yeah.
to take it up. But when Ray Carson was announced, it threw me for the greatest loop ever.
That's awesome.
It's one of those things like you can't really you don't it's weird to say, but like this movie in particular, if it's really the finite ending to this saga, the person writing it kind of has a liberty to do whatever they want, Not whatever, but like
Right.
I feel bad for Jason Fry and is it Arthur C. Clarke? No, that's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Who's the guy that did the who's the guy that did the first one?
Drawing a blank.
First novelization.
Oh, the
Dang
Force Awakens.
Yes.
Alan Dean
He did
Foster.
the original. Alan
Yep.
Dean Foster. Well, say pretty close to Arthur C. Clarke.
Hand in your Star Wars cards. No, you're good.
So, no, with that being said, like, you felt bad for those other 2 authors because they kind of had to stick it exactly to the story,
Right.
Like, exactly, except for Jason Fry's amazing intro. It's one of those, it's kind of weird. I can't wait to see where they could take this book because they really could take it to a pretty crazy place as well,
Absolutely.
and answer a lot more deeper things that the movie could not fulfill for us. But yeah, it's another late release too, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it? Like January of 2020.
It's definitely.
Or
I
February.
thought it might be like. I think I saw the date. Isn't it, Jake? Is it in March?
I'm looking. Yeah, out in March is all it says right here.
Okay. That's when
March
they
3rd.
released the TLJ. It was like right before the movie came out on home release.
Right.
And so
Ah,
I'm gonna be, dude. Here's another thing. Just imagine after the movie comes out in January, February, whatever the lead up until it comes out, we're gonna start getting announcements on probably the full saga box sets
Absolutely.
stuff.
oh,
I think
man.
I'm predicting right now, and I don't know if it's true or not, and I'm probably gonna have to, take out a second loan on my house, second mortgage. But I think we're gonna get like 4K releases of all the films.
Man.
I would
Because
love that.
right now you don't have 4K of the originals and prequels. So
The only issue I have with that is, and it's very weird, but Revenge of the Sith was the very first movie to be shot completely digital.
Well,
And they
it's,
shot it
Attack
at
of the Clones
1080p. Oh, no. Revenge of the Sith was shot. Some scenes in Attack of the Clones were filmed with actual film.
Oh,
But,
okay.
But
It was
Revenge of
fully
the Sith was entirely digital, and it was shot in 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea how they're going to 4K convert that without like redoing all the special effects and stuff. So I'm they're going to upscale it. Maybe I have no idea.
I have no
That's my
idea.
only That's my only like hang up with it. But
It's
if
probably
they do,
and they could have been working on it already too,
Right.
because they've
You're
started
right.
putting out the films on 4K with TLJ. So
Yeah, that's true. But no, it's weird. It's like as much as I would want that box set, I don't know if I'd buy it. Just because like I already have these movies like 3 times over.
Yep, and I'd buy
The-
it still.
the-
I'll admit it right now. I have 3 box sets of Star Wars films, and some of them dating back to VHS. And
Yeah,
I
man.
will
Me
buy
too.
this one as well.
if it comes out on 4K, I'll get it. But also, I've been really tempted to get the new re-releases. You saw me like
Yeah.
bragging, like really like
Yep.
loving on those the cover art of the new ones they just released. That's what I loved about the old time, like the prequel sequels when they came out on DVD, is they all had like the unified kind of cover and all that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, it just looks awesome. You know, speaking of all this stuff, talking about collecting and all this, if we don't have any more news, maybe we should start talking about collecting and
talk about
and
it.
things of that
Yes.
nature.
Let's make it happen, baby. What's going on, Jay? What we talking about?
Well, today we're talking about merchandise. Merchandising. I'm trying to think of the line from Yogurt in Spaceballs. I think it's just merchandising. But is it? Anyway, it doesn't matter if there's an ing or if it's just merchandise, because we're talking about Star Wars collecting. We're talking about, in honor of Force Friday, Triple Force Friday, our favorite memorabilia, maybe, you know, our memories of Force Fridays past. So, I don't know, you know, let's start with Scotty here. Scotty, do you have what are your good memories of Force Fridays past?
I've got some really great memories. I'll never forget. It was October of 2015, and me and my girlfriend Katie. I'm sure I brought up several times. We went and drove all the way to New Orleans to go to a Target in I guess what parish was it? Don't remember exactly right now, but I'll say this much. We drove all the way to Kenner. That was it. It's next to the airport. We drove all the way to Kenner, and it was late. We left around 11:15 from our little college town we lived in, and we drove there and we listened to music. We talked, and it was just so excited. I was looking through Facebook at the time, just seeing everyone posting about it on Reddit too, and it's just like it was such a special night because I remember driving there, and a drive to New Orleans is about 50 to 40 minutes from where I live. So it was like just enough time to kind of hype yourself up, talk about it, watch the trailer maybe once or twice.
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
was never really a big Star Wars person, so this was like our first Star Wars event. And I guess for me as well, my first real Star Wars event besides seeing the movies as a kid. So we drove down to New Orleans and we go into the Target and you open up the doors and they had like BB-8 in the doors and the First Order troopers in the doors,
Cool.
There was no one dressed up in ours, unfortunately, but it was we were in line with about 30 other people, and I'll just never forget like walking through the store and we all kind of ran for the toys. I immediately grabbed 2 shirts and I grabbed Kylo Ren's double-bladed lightsaber, not the Force Effects one, just the little plastic one you can just like wave your hand out and make it open. So
Yeah.
that was it was weird. It was like, man, I've had a very strange connection. I actually have photos of me still from when we did that, and they had like a Snapchat filter and stuff. It was awesome. And that first one, I'll never forget. On the ride back home, I got a little emotional because I'm like holding this lightsaber, and I'm like thinking to myself, I never thought I would do this again.
Yeah.
Like, this,
Right.
I never thought that I would see a new movie. I never thought I would have a new piece of merchandise in my hand that's from a new movie that I just went and, to an event for, and other fans were there. It was just like, it was very surreal, and I'll probably remember that car ride for the rest of my life because it was just like, I don't know. It was very special, and I've been to every Force Friday since except this most recent one. I had work at I wake up around 5, so I didn't want to be up till about 1:30, buying stuff and doing stuff.
Right.
So that being said, this is the first one I missed out on. But Rogue One, I went to Toys R Us, and TLJ, I went to Target again. So it was all amazing. Trust me, it was amazing. But it made me a little sad to miss out this one time. But anyway, Jake, do you have any Force Friday experiences you want to discuss, or anything that you've done before in regards to merchandising and this very special day we have as Star Wars fans?
Well, most of my Force Friday experiences have been by myself. You know, I don't have a lot of fans of. I know some people that like Star Wars, but they're not like fans, you know, in the same sense that we are.
Yeah,
But,
right.
so, you know, it's always just been kind of a, you know, just that ritual to wake up and go out and try and find as much as you can, even though in this area where I'm at in Ohio, we don't get a lot of the new merchandise up front. You know, I usually have to wait until halfway through November towards Christmas time kind of to see everything on shelves. So,
Like Black Friday time.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, you know, it was great. I went out this year and you know, went to a few stores, a Target and a couple of Walmarts around my area, which had nothing other than like this 3x3 little square display and like right out in front of the toy aisles. It was so tiny. And there was barely anything on it. The only thing, nobody was buying nobody was interested, I guess, in the Galaxy of Adventures action figures here because those were left, but everything else was gone.
Yeah, same at my store too.
I did pick up the one thing that I got at Walmart while I was out was I picked up the Rey and Poe vintage collection figures, which were two that I really wanted. I used to do the Black Series until it got, you know, I had to choose between them and Funko Pops, and I couldn't give up Funko Pops. But yeah, I bought all as much of the Funko Pops as I could online for this Force Friday because I couldn't really find any anywhere around here.
Right.
But I did order those. I can't wait to get them. I have a collection of over 200 Star Wars Funko Pops. It's yeah, it's out of control.
That's cool, dude.
They put out
That's amazing.
They put out so
And-
many for each new film. It's ridiculous.
That is crazy.
That's
Hey, have you? I don't know if you
wild.
listened to Force Toast or anything, Jake.
What was that?
I don't know if you listen to Force Toast or anything like that. The Laura and oh crap! I'm sorry, Alice. I almost forgot your name. Laura and Alice over in Force Toast. They have called those precious moments for nerds
Yeah.
and stuff. And it's just the best description ever. I'm like, that is amazing. I love that. It's so true. But those Funkos are so cool, dude. Like
They are.
That's so crazy. That's such an awesome. Sounds like you have an amazing collection.
It's getting out of hand. I have to keep buying bookshelves to display them.
Right.
So I've just got like this corner of a room in my house that has 4 bookshelves, just all, you know, connected to each other. They're just full from top to bottom with Funko Pops. It's incredible. I love doing it. You know, I usually pick up the like the main characters when they drop, and then all the like the troopers and, you know, like background characters and stuff like that. I usually find them cheaper like at conventions and things that I go to, so I'll pick those up there.
Right.
Makes it more fun for me to hunt for them kind of at these conventions and whatnot.
That's the thing. And if you ever wanted to sell them, I'd suggest going to a convention and buying, you know, selling them there because
Right.
you can make your money back.
Oh, yeah.
Like real easy. And like my favorite Funko Pop, it's kind of random, but my Bib Fortuna one's like my absolute
Yes,
favorite.
I love
He's
it.
got a little
awesome.
mouth and he's got his little teeth. It's very for Funko Pops. If people don't collect them, they usually don't have any mouths. You know?
Exactly.
They're usually mouthless. And the Bib Fortuna one's my absolute favorite because he's got this awful
Yep.
smile and he's got that thing coming out of his neck. It's great. I don't know.
I love it,
Jerry,
too.
do you collect any Funkos?
Do I?
I love the Funkos. Whenever they first started coming out, my lovely wife Allison was into. She was like, "Oh, these are so cool," because they were from like everything, you know. Like you could get them from you could get Lost Funko Pops. We were
Yeah.
like big Lost
Yeah.
people, you know. I mean, and we wanted to, we just never had the money for it. And then just kind of now, like Jake, you were talking about like picking between that, choosing between that and Black Series. I went the Black Series route, and I still don't even get that. Like I get a couple of those a year,
Yeah.
maybe. So like, dude, it's I understand the struggle is real, man. Space is a real thing.
Yep.
And I also would like to stay married, so I can't get way too much. But
understand, I
you know, hey,
understand.
we got a basement downstairs that I've been told I can kind of like set up. I gotta get it, you know, like finished and all that stuff. But hey, it'll happen. It'll happen. But no, I don't have any Funko Pops, although I'm not against them. I think they're really cool. So, and I'm impressed by anyone else's collections because they're usually very impressive and they display so nicely too.
They do.
Alrighty, listeners, someone do Jerry a favor. find a Funko Pop, one of yours, maybe.
What?
I will find a way to get Jerry's address and just send him a Funko Pop.
No.
You can have his very first one.
I'll send you one right
Let's
now.
do it. We're gonna make it happen.
I got an extra Admiral Akbar you can have. Just
Oh,
saying.
dude, no way.
Just saying.
Jake!
Oh, wait. Is it a trap? No, I'm
This might
It's the
be
Force
it.
Awakens version, so no, it's
Oh,
not a trap.
dude. Okay. Hey,
Or
you
The
know
Last
what?
Jedi, I'm
That's low-hanging fruit that I went for the trap joke, but hey, it's okay. You know, I just recently listened to the Blast Points episode about what's it called, Star Wars detours, and they definitely went for the low-hanging fruit of the words that rhyme with trap in that trailer. So I guess I'm no different than Seth Green. I'm trying to say, I guess.
That's an awesome thing to collect, Jake. I mean, like there's some things that, you know, like Jerry said, he likes his Black Series. I'm a big mix. I love when I find a vintage figure, not like a Kenner one, but like the Power of the Force or the Phantom Menace line. I love those figures. Those are some of my favorites. But most of the figures I ever get are gonna be at like it's so weird. There's got stores down here in the South that are like, I wouldn't even call them consignment stores. It's stores that like get damaged boxes in. Like, let's say Target's a damaged box,
Okay.
and like a bunch of the action figures are not crushed, just like the plastics and the things that hold them in are like really dented, and you can't really sell them. Well, they'll send them to this place and down here called Dirt Cheap, and they'll resell it for like half the price.
Oh, okay.
So I'll always get my action figures because they're fine. It's just the boxes are destroyed.
Right.
So like, I got most of my Funko Pops that way. I've gotten most of my like my 3.5 inch ones that way as well. My Black Series ones, they're always coming from Walmart, Target.
Right.
You know, my Thrawn one is my most proud. I love my Thrawn Black Series. That's my absolute favorite. But yeah, for figures, most of the time it's whatever I stumble upon. I'm not the kind of guy that'll go out and search for it.
Yeah.
You know.
That's how I am with like the actual action figures too. Like we have stores around here. They're called the Exchange, and they're kind of like music, video game, nerd culture kind of stores. But they sell new and used everything. But you can go in there and they have the one near me. It's like the only like Star Wars heaven I have around here. It's got this huge back wall with nothing but Star Wars stuff. And
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Sometimes you'll just, because if something doesn't sell at another store, they'll send it here, and whatnot, just to try and sell the Star Wars merch that they have. But a lot of the times you'll find a lot of those old, action figures from like the 90s and early 2000s, those runs and whatnot. I don't remember the exact names of the runs that they did. But a lot of the times you'll find those. Some of them are quite expensive, though, I'll tell you that. But
Yeah.
But yeah, they got a great selection of Funko Pops there all the time too, and they sell them at like the like online prices, like not like retail price. They'll sell them for whatever they're selling for online. So it's nice to find some that way sometimes.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
My place up here that I can find good deals on, or like find some cool stuff for pretty cheap, is Five Below.
Oh,
I don't know if you
yeah.
guys have ever been to. It's
Yeah,
kind
we
of
have
a
a ton
bigger
of
chain.
those
That was
around
pretty
here.
good too.
Dude, Five Below, like, I actually, there's one in the mall here in Nashville, and I went in and I was looking. They have like the Balatique and Rathtar for $5.
Really?
I'm really like contemplating, even though I've already spent too much money. But they had that, and then they had Scotty. This is very relevant to the Bombad cast. They had 2 Black Series Snokes.
Oh, that's awesome.
The boxes were dilapidated and horrible, but I was almost
still.
like sitting here. I'm like, man, maybe we should do this Adopt a Snoke 2.0. But no. Sorry, guys, if you're listening, we're not doing that right now because I didn't buy them. So yeah, sorry.
No, it's weird. I mean, in regards to merchandise, you could really get into a deep rabbit hole in this, but like, why do you think it fulfills us? What about it is so fulfilling and makes you kind of brings you a closer level to Star Wars than you didn't have before? I mean, it's kind of odd. Is there anyone that has, anyone here in regards to the people in this conversation that have that almost feel like the toys are almost like a little bit of an enhancement of your viewing? Does anyone have anything they could say about that or no? Because I can definitely riff on that.
I don't know if it's an enhancement, like in the way that I view Star Wars. It's just I don't know. I think that I've loved Star Wars my entire life, since I was a kid. I don't remember not loving Star Wars. Let's put it that way. But
Right.
I just
Yeah.
think that like I kind of look at it as like this franchise has given so much to me that I just want to give as much to it as I possibly can, and I just want all of
I understand that.
the things. Like I see something new come out, and I need that. I'm 26 years old.
Yeah.
And this is a toy for it says ages 3 and up, but I want that.
Yeah.
I have to have that.
Yeah.
And like I
Yeah.
said, it's just it's almost like a giving back kind of thing, not in like a financial way or something like that. Disney and Lucasfilm don't need my money. I'm sure of that.
Right.
But it's just that's how I view it. I just want to, I don't know, make sure I keep myself in it, I guess, which I don't think I could ever fall out of the Star Wars love that I have. But collecting and whatnot is a nice way to remind myself, yeah, this is still relevant to me.
That's awesome.
man.
That's really cool. What about you, Jerry?
Well, for me, it's one thing to see these things on the screen, but to have it in your to be able to hold it in your hands, like I don't know what it is. It's a weird feeling or sensation that there's something special about just being able to like go to the store. For one thing, going to a store and finding the stuff is just a great experience.
That
And
is.
fills,
That usually
it fills
is,
me
yeah.
with so much joy. I don't understand why.
Right.
It's like it's just little hunks of plastic, but it's a hunk of plastic that looks like Oscar Isaac or Daisy Ridley.
Okay, kind of looks like Oscar Isaac.
Yeah,
Yes.
it looks like Oscar Isaac if Oscar Isaac had like a lazy eye.
Yes.
And like
Or two.
it was kind of like down. Yeah.
See, those Hot Toys are the only ones that can do it well. The
Yeah.
Hot Toys are like the definitive
Right.
looks. Most of the other ones are hit or miss.
Yes.
But it's just something about like having these characters and stuff and like being able to hold them and look at them in real life as opposed to on a screen. I don't know. It's just it's a weird feeling. I don't want to get too weird and all like it's transcendent and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but it's
Yeah.
also that like you're saying, Jake, like giving back and like putting money into there, like letting them know like, hey, we like what you're doing. Keep it up.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
slap Star Wars on it. Yeah, okay. I like to think that a lot of us, people say like, oh, you slap Star Wars on something and they'll buy it. I think we have a little more standards than that, but
Yeah.
also I would probably buy just about anything if it had Star Wars on it.
Yeah.
But what about
But
you,
no-
Scott? What is it about collecting that fulfills you?
So there's like two real things I think about. I love ships and I love design, and I like being able to hold those ships in my hands. Like I have a TIE bomber, I have First Order TIE, TIE fighter. I got a very small Trade Federation. Well, I guess it wasn't Trade Federation then, but it's from the Phantom Menace, the little battleship, the control ship
Okay.
with the little
Right.
Death Star kind of in the middle and the
Droid
things
control
around
ship.
it. I have at I'm looking at. I got a Millennium Falcon mini. I've also got, and it's not even Star Wars, but I got a small Enterprise
Okay.
from Star Trek, and I got
Nice.
I've got. I think it's just the idea, and Jerry knows this, and I'm sure you're aware of it, Jake. I'm dying to get my hands on a Razor Crest model,
Yes.
being big or small. I love the way it looks.
Me too.
But like to me,
Hashtag
it's
Razor
these things that are they're so intangible. Like they're in no way, except for Celebration, will you see a full size X-wing, or at Batu, will you see this full size thing? But having a miniature in my hand just makes it feel like this is real. This is something that's rooted in reality. And I mean,
Right.
when they were making these movies back in the 70s and 80s, they really did have to make the models of these things.
Yeah.
So if I were to ever have like an ultimate collection piece, it would be to have the actual model from the movie. That would be like that would
man.
be like the ideal collection piece. But another thing I want to say is there's some characters that are like completely intangible, like that you've only read about, that you've never seen the lower half of their body,
Right.
In some situations, like I love Thrawn, one of my favorite characters, but the figures of him were very few and far between. I mean, even after the novels came out, there was maybe one figure, and then the Black Series one came out, and the Rebels 3.25-inch one came out. It was I had to have at least one of them, so I bought the Black Series one, and it looks incredible.
Yeah.
That's an intangible character. That character did not exist physically, really, like ever.
Right.
To have a copy of him is like you know, it's weird, but it's like I see what he would look like, you know, if he was in a movie. I see what he would look like if he was in a, you know, something other than just an animated show or a book.
Right.
Right.
So I guess it's just that you're making this thing like a reality, and it's I think it's the beauty of it. It's like you have these pieces that you kind of fascinate over. You know, imagine if you had a very like in your hand size version of like a Y-wing. You know, it's just like I love the way it looks, but I don't think I'll ever see one in person until you know do see one in person on Batu or
Yes.
or you know at Celebration. It's weird. It's
Right.
I'm fascinated with having one in my hand though as well. So I guess that's the part where merchandise kind of gets to me.
That's awesome.
You know,
Yeah, that's a really
I kind of understand
that's
it.
a really cool way of looking at things. I've never, you know, thought about it in that way. That's really cool.
Oh well, thank you. I didn't think it was even that special. It's
No,
just,
dude.
It's just.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
just weird
Go ahead,
to
go
have
ahead.
that. Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. Yeah, I was telling you. Go ahead. No, dude, you're absolutely right, and they are just hunks of plastic and whatever, but it's the memories that we have tied to them that really make them special.
Right.
And so that's really why it's such a special and crazy experience and thing for all of us. And I just
Yeah,
no, seriously,
definitely.
dude, you're really hitting the nail on the head there, for real.
Well, thank you. It's one of those things that like I kind of think about, like why the hell am I going to Target at 12 o'clock at night? You know, like why am I doing this? But I know why I'm doing it. It's a desire, and it's one of those things. It's good old American capitalist in capitalism. It's like it's just you just want. You want to be the first to have this thing, and we can all relate because we were all at Celebration. I don't know if you were there,
I was,
Jake,
yes.
but I mean, I know you
Yeah.
were there. No, but I don't know if you were there for the Rise of Skywalker trailer. I
Yep.
wanted to be the first to see it. You know, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
like the big thing, and people don't understand that's like a really important thing to
It
me.
is, it is.
to be like the first to be there in that room with your people. You know?
Yeah. Did you?
I
Sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was in the convention hall. I was not in the actual room, you know,
Oh,
with
okay.
Ian McDermott and all that. But Jerry and I were next to each other,
Gotcha.
and
sorry?
crying
Yeah.
like
that's
little
right.
babies.
I was lucky enough to get into an overflow room for the Rise of Skywalker. You know,
Nice.
lucky that even the
Yeah.
overflow room was lucky
okay.
to me. But
Exactly.
but I actually sat with the incredible people from Unmistakably Star Wars, their podcast. I don't know if you've ever listened, but it's a great podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I sat with with them and enjoyed that trailer and all of that together, and that was just an incredible moment.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. See, that's great, and that's the kind of thing. It's like, you know, you have these items and these moments that mean a lot to
Right.
you, and like as a Star Wars fan, you were lucky enough to have this again. And I'm sure you remember in 2005. I don't know what age you were, but and Jerry and I have talked about this several times. Whenever that Revenge of the Sith ended and Episode 3 ended, it was like that was it. Like, well, we won't have this again. There won't be anything like this again. And I think a lot of it's just stemming from it being. I'm being grateful that we do have it
Exactly.
again. So I think that's really a part of it. But you know, it's awesome. It's really fantastic. And yeah, there's one thing I want to ask though. Is there any items like in particular that are super duper personal to you in regards to merchandise or anything Star Wars? It could even be a T-shirt, like anything.
I usually just go
Okay.
on like maybe my favorite new thing. I'm trying to think though. There's like this little Admiral Akbar Power of the Force figure that I got from a gas station on a like trip in college. We stopped at this one gas station. I think it was actually in Ohio, Jake.
Okay.
And it had they had toys from the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
And we were all
Wow.
just freaking out because it was all stuff from our childhood. They had the old Power of the Force. And so I bought Admiral Akbar. And I had never had him before, and he's still in the package actually. And I just got him from my parents' house this summer when I was visiting them. And so I guess I'd have to say maybe that for right now. It's because I've held on to all of my stuff, but honestly, the most special thing to me is usually like what I'm kind of like digging at the moment.
That's true. I get that. I get that completely. What about you, Drake?
For me, there's a few personal items I get that mean a lot to me. Like I have a younger cousin. I think she's 8 now, but at the time she was probably 5 or
Okay.
6, and she went to a garage sale with my grandparents, and she found like the only Star Wars item of the day that they had found, and it was from The Force Awakens. When it's Rey and her speeder bike, just a little action figure set, and half of the pieces are missing from the speeder, and like Rey's little hat goggle combo thing is missing and whatnot. But it's like
Oh.
just because she got it for me, it's just the best thing in the world.
Oh,
That's so sweet.
Yeah, I
awesome.
love that so much. But other than that, I have some Funko Pops I've got signed and whatnot. Those mean quite a bit to me.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I have a Palpatine signed by Ian McDermott. I have a C-3PO
Oh,
signed by
wow.
Anthony Daniels.
Oh, what's up? That's awesome.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Steel City Comic Con. They make appearances there quite a bit. So if you ever want to meet some
Heck yeah.
actually, I always butcher his name. Eunice, the guy that's playing.
Jonas Swadamo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's going to be there in December, and I'm going to get a Chewie from the Force Awakens signed by him. So can't wait for that.
Excellent.
That is so cool, man.
Yeah, it's
That's awesome.
But yeah, you know, those are the most important things, the ones that mean a lot to you. You know, I also there's one I just thought of. Sorry, when I was in I was in middle school, I think. So, you know, 6th grade, maybe 5th, 6th grade, and me and a buddy, we both loved Star Wars. We'd been saving up money, both of us together, and then one day after school, my mom picked us both up and took us to a mall near here. We went to a GameStop and we both bought the old Force Effects Darth Vader lightsabers.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
We went to that and we both bought those and we both still have them. And you know, that's just kind of a cool little, you know, connection between friends.
wicked.
Kind of thing. Yeah,
That's really
those are the
awesome.
things that mean the most for sure. I think to any collector, honestly, are the things that have memories
Absolutely.
tied to them like that.
Absolutely. Scotty, have you given yours yet?
Oh, for me, okay, my most prized Star Wars action, fortunately, I had the opportunity to meet Mark Hamill at Celebration 17.
Okay.
And I got him to sign, and it's such a strange thing to sign. I happened to have it in my book sack. I brought it from home. I did not buy this at Celebration, but I had a Atari 2600 cartridge of the first Star Wars game for a 2600
wow.
for Atari.
That is
yeah.
so cool.
And so I had it in my book sack, and he was only supposed to sign a picture and take a photo with you, and that was it. But I took it out, and I put it on the desk. Is there any way you can sign this? And he said, sure. And he signed that too.
That's awesome.
And it was, you know, I walked, and it's in silver Sharpie on this. I'm sorry, it's in black Sharpie on this silver label. It looks amazing. And it says Mark Hamill on it. And it's just, you know, it's something I've never actually put the game in the system. I have a system.
Right.
Never actually put it in just because I don't want to. And the fact that it's just his signature and stuff is just so awesome.
That is awesome.
That and the photo we have together and the print he gave me that he signed, also very important to me. But if my house was burning down, I don't know what I would grab because they're right next to each other. Probably would grab the actual picture. But it's just such a special item, and like I'll never forget when that moment happened because it was just so unexpected. It was after one of his panels. He asked everyone to reach down below their seats to see if they had won, and I was like one of like 30 to win, and I never
Wow.
win anything, and I'm glad I won that. Very glad I won that. And this is before the TLJ disaster that came on. Not that the movie was a disaster, just the unbelievable animosity that came after. So everything was still super happy and, you know, normal, you know. But yeah, that's probably my favorite piece, to be honest with you. And you know, I just love being able to go and buy stuff whenever I want to. You know, that's also another thing. It's the freedom of choice is huge. You know, it's like we had moments where we couldn't buy anything Star Wars unless it was Clone Wars or Rebels, or actually just more Clone Wars related. You know, back from 2008 to 2013, and then we finally started to get stuff again, and it's just been kind of exciting checking out and having something new in your hands and refreshing.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, has anyone else in here ever attended a Force Friday prior to the one that we just had? You know, anything in particular, any memories that came from that?
Well, like I said, you know, my area in Ohio, Northeast Ohio, we don't really, you know, get a whole lot of merchandise, so I don't really have a ton of, you know, memories with Force Friday. So I'm a little. I guess I'm out of this one.
No, dude.
No.
Well, you know
What about
what?
you,
Let me
Jerry?
tell you my first Force Friday. You told yours, Scotty. Here, listen to this,
Yeah.
okay? So me and my wife had just moved to Michigan in 2015, okay? And we had started jobs at a factory, and she had to go in early, like at like 2 a.m. or something. And so
Cool.
I'm thinking, all right, the town we live in this town in Michigan called Holland. It's like right on the lake and stuff. It's really cool. It's a touristy town, and it's not huge, but it's still a fairly big town. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
like, oh, dude, there's definitely gonna be some midnight stuff going on. So I got a couple hours before I got to be at work. I was at 4. She had to be in at 4, and I had to go to work at 6. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go into town and check out Target and see if I can find anything. I go. Target is closed. And there's like nothing. So then I go to like this there's this store up here. I think there might be some in Indiana and maybe in Ohio too. Jake, I don't know if you know Meyer,
No, I don't.
but it's essentially like Michigan Walmart.
Okay.
But I went to one of those and they had like some stuff up, like some standees and stuff, but they didn't really have anything put out yet. And so like I went, and then I don't think I could go to Walmart yet. I think I was like, I'd spent too much time, so I've got to get out of here. Oh no, I did. I went to Walmart and they had put stuff out at like midnight and most of it was picked over.
Yeah.
And so and honestly, that kind of sounds like what a lot of people experience this Force Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I did.
But so that was my first Force Friday, and I just remember I was like up so early and like feverishly like going to these different stores. Like I gotta find something. Like where's
That's
the
awesome.
stuff? Where's the stuff? But it worked out. I found my merch. I got what I wanted to get.
Yeah.
I got a Kylo. And then after the movie came out and they came out with the Rey with the lightsaber, because remember they couldn't show that
Yeah.
she had the lightsaber at first before
Yeah.
the movie came out. I got that Rey that had the BB-8 and all that, and so I don't know, but honestly, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I'm gonna be straight up honest with all you people here, all the Bombad listeners out there. This has probably been my favorite Force Friday so far.
Oh, that's awesome. man.
Because I've actually been able to I went, like I said, we were right next to the Disney store. I went there and people were like so nice and helpful. I found the stuff I wanted. I got a couple of those. I don't know if you're familiar with the Disney store has those like boxes of like tiny figurines.
Dude, I
with
was
the
so
bases.
jealous of that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I did a live stream with it this weekend and showed everyone. I ended up going and getting the light side version of the heroes. It's got a sweet Lando in it,
Awesome.
man. Like
That's
they're
awesome.
amazingly detailed. And
Yeah.
I had my bag, my Star Wars bag from the Disney store, and it's got like the lithographs in it and stuff, which are really cool. Felt like I was at Celebration again. But I went to watch Joker that night, and like I ended up having conversations with all the people who like the managers and stuff that are in the theater, because they were all like, "Oh, I like Star. I actually really liked Last Jedi. I don't know why people and like just like talking about all kinds of stuff." And he asked me like, "Hey, how's Triple Force Friday? Is it pretty good? You find good stuff, And it was just felt like an event more
That's
so than
really
it.
cool.
Yeah.
So it was, and again, not to like. Jake, I'm usually in the same boat with you, man. I'm going by myself
Yeah.
because my wife doesn't want to get up and go to Walmart to look for Star Wars toys. But it's, I don't know, it was just kind of a nice little experience. So I think this is honestly this will go down as my favorite Force Friday and kind of the one I'll remember, I think.
That's really awesome.
For
That's
good
great.
reasons.
That is solid. Yeah, no, it's weird. These events come and go, and I mean, as we're not going to get any more saga films, we know that. But I mean, I wonder what they're going to end up doing next time because there's like 3 really big days for Star Wars fans. I mean, May the 4th is always really big. Celebration, whenever it happens, is always really big. And Force Friday's been a staple for the past 4 years, and I hope they continue it with new content.
too.
I would
Yeah.
love to keep doing these. It's a fun merchandising event. People talk about it. It ends up being things that you see, people write up on it, podcasts cover it. I think it's one of the better merchandising events that companies
Yeah,
put
and
on.
Yeah.
I think if not, it's one of the only ones.
Right, and for somebody like me who doesn't get all the merchandise on Force Friday, like we just have limited, merchandise. It's so awesome to see everyone on social media posting their finds and what their hauls and whatnot and what they got. That's what it really. That's the most
agree.
important part to me is seeing everybody else be just so happy with what they've got.
I love that.
But
Yeah, well, that's another good. Yeah, you're right. The community is one of the better parts of it. It's because if you find it, that's why it was so special for me this year. It wasn't that I got something; it was that someone was like, "Oh, cool! What did you get?"
right,
Yep.
That social aspect, and it is so cool to like live vicariously through other people, but also just to be excited for your. I'll go ahead and say it. We're all friends on Star Wars Twitter. We might spat here and there, but you know what? Like, it's cool to see your friends and people that you follow get this cool stuff and like have fun and
exactly.
just be excited together. So I agree 100%, Jake. That's awesome.
See, it's I completely agree with that because it's one of those things that's like I don't know, you spend so much time hyping up the smallest things as a Star Wars fan. You've got, that first trailer drops, okay? Then the very small articles that come out. And then the second October hits, there's like these staples as a fandom that you go through. You've got the next and the final trailer. You got, you got all the articles and the magazines put stuff out, and you got this merchandising event. And it starts to feel more like Star Wars season when you're walking around, getting your groceries and you see a standee of BB-8.
Yeah.
Or you see, or just little things like that. So, hell, I'm looking forward to when McDonald's gets their Happy Meals
Me
toys.
too.
I'm going to be getting a Happy Meal every day.
I'm so ridiculously
I
excited
just don't
for that.
even care. And that's going to be awesome. It's just it's weird. It's very childlike, but not in like a weird creepy way.
Yeah.
It's like it's just it's the beauty of merchandising and advertising because it makes makes your life a little bit more exciting, even if it's something as small as that. So that's about it for me, boys. I mean, I really enjoyed talking about that. I hope everyone else listening did as well. That was awesome.
Absolutely.
And we've got some pretty great write-ins from some guests. Our one and only. Why do we always say that? Why do I always say that?
It's a thing, dude. It's a
Farm
thing
Boy.
now. So we're 100% doing it like every time.
Yeah, it's it. It's just like a staple. Like we can't not say that anymore. But Rural Farm Boy, he commented under one of our posts. He had to pick his favorite piece of Star Wars merch, and he brought up he's got his Rogue One, his Star Wars Rogue One, a visual dictionary. So that's a really good one. If you don't have that yet, you need to get on that. That's a really good visual dictionary.
Awesome.
Man, hey, Anthony, I know you're listening, buddy. Like, I'm a canon junkie, and I love, I own that book too, and I've got to get the visual guides when they come out because they're essential reading for me. Like, I love getting every little detail in the nooks and crannies of these films.
Exactly.
I'm with you, man. That's a good thick, heavy one too.
Now, Jake, I know you like the actual chapter books and stuff. Do you get any of the visual art of books as well?
Yes, absolutely, I do. I don't have all of them, but I will add all of them to my collection at some point. But yeah, I have all of the visual dictionaries for all of the Disney films that have come out. Star Wars Disney, of course.
Awesome.
But I don't have all of the art books. I would like to add those to my collection at some point because I really love looking at the Force Awakens one that I do have. But
See, funny enough, when you say that, we're on the exact opposite page. I have all the art of books and like one visual guide.
Okay.
But like, it's weird. I can see what you're saying though. It's like I love the art of books because I like to see where stories could have went. And those, even if it's like a very small plot, very small sequence, like the Fathier chase. I mean, they've got like these huge sprawling, concept art of like Canto Bight that is just beautiful. That I would have loved to have seen in the movies, but it's not, and that's okay. So I get to look at these books that give me the visual. Otherwise, I know Jerry over here. Jerry's a big man on the visual dictionaries, but Jerry, do you have any art of books or no?
I don't, and I was gonna say after Celebration, I was in all the stuff that basically was in the trailer that everyone was like, that was in the art of the Force Awakens book. I was like, I gotta get on these things because I love concept art and stuff, but I haven't ever I haven't gotten any of them just because there's so much. Like everything comes out in December, like and I have to choose. And of course, I, being the canon junkie, usually choose the visual dictionary.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, hey, if we ever get a Patreon going, guys, maybe I'll end up doing like a show where I just kind of go and pick just a little section in the visual dictionaries every week or something.
That
and
would
talk
be
about
awesome.
That, who knows? That's something I've been kind of throwing around.
I would do that with the art of books, because the art of books are just so chock full of really random stuff, and it's crazy to think like if they had enough content to put a book out, imagine what they like held from us. You know, that's one thing I always think about. It's like if they had enough to like make an entire book of concept. I mean, they have to have so much more concept that they kept hidden. So that part's really exciting for me about either of those books. Because you kind of get to see the craft of how this kind of falls into place and what makes it and what gets cut. I love that, especially with the visual dictionaries too. You see all kinds of characters that you wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Heck yeah, dude.
But anyway, our next write-in's from Justin Reed at Justin011691, and they put my original Funko signed by Her Universe, and that is. It's the Ahsoka Funko, by Ashley Eckstein. It's such a to me that is probably so special because Ahsoka. I really do think Ahsoka's gonna keep showing up. I don't think we're gonna see the last of Ashley Eckstein. So that part's really exciting. And for you, have you ever tried getting one signed by Ashley Eckstein yet?
I thought about it at Celebration this year, but I obviously went against that. I just, like I said, I had very limited time. The Her Universe line, the couple times that I did stand in it was extremely long. So I just, I wanted to spend my time doing, other things, meeting people that I didn't get to meet yet and whatnot. So,
Totally.
So yeah, but
Absolutely.
yeah, I would totally love to one day. I have all the Ahsoka Pops that are out, and I would love to get each of them signed by her.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. That's excellent.
Do you guys remember like that? What was it? That article that came out? I forget who put it out. It was like BuzzFeed or someone. It's like the most popular Star Wars character you've never heard of, and everyone was in like an uproar. It was Ahsoka. Like it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like dude, seriously though, Justin, that is so cool, man. Like I would love to meet Ashley. She seems like such a sweet, genuine, kind person.
Absolutely.
And it's just that's so cool, dude. And I don't know. Ahsoka is bit. I know people like kind of had their issues with her when she first came out. I think if I remember right, I was like, she's a little, she's a little youthful, but that's how she is. I don't think I've ever really not liked Ahsoka, and so
Right.
Exactly.
I don't know. Ahsoka is. I mean, she's essential to the entire story now.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I don't think you could even like try to remove. It's just I don't know. Why am I even talking about removing her? Anyway, we love Ahsoka. We love Ahsoka, dude. That's so awesome though, Justin. Scott, we actually have a couple of write-ins from our group on Facebook, guys. If you're not a part of it, we have on Facebook the Bombad Fam, a Bombad Cast official group. So if you're on Facebook, go over there, hang out with us and the Boomers over on Facebook, and we will. We just kind of chat up, have fun. It's kind of a small, tight knit group right now, but let's get let's get that community growing. It's a positive place, to talk about just what you're passionate about, guys. So, but we have from our good buddy Rick Villanueva.
There you go.
A write-in. He says his favorite piece of merchandise and memorabilia that he has is his fan club card from the 83, 84-ish. He's got a picture here. It's super cool looking. Like it's the official Star Wars fan club, and it's got Endor with like the second Death Star floating above the moon of Endor. Excuse me, I don't want to I'm a canon junkie. But it's in like the official Star Wars fan club. It's in like red writing, almost like the Last Jedi. It looks like the Last Jedi's logo, and it's beautiful, man. That's a cool looking piece of merchandise. It's beat up, Rick, but man, that just proves that you love.
Yeah, it's got character.
That's super cool. Yeah, dude. But that's cool that's your. See, I never joined any of the official fan clubs, which I guess makes me not a real fan. But
no, don't say that.
No, we never said that. No gatekeeping anywhere. But dude, that's so cool. Like I kind of wish that I had gotten into a fan club when I was a kid. It's just I don't think we ever really had money to do anything like that, or like
Yeah.
even really like I don't know. I
See,
just
I didn't even know it
think of
existed. Like, it's like one of those things like you just don't even know that actually is real until
Yeah.
it's too late.
But that's so cool that you still have that. Like that's just a feat to keep track of like a little card for all these
it
years
really
too.
is.
So kudos to you, sir. I know what you mean though. Like I've got little random pieces of cardboard that I've held on to. They're just like special little like action figure cutouts or like things for. It's amazing what stuff you really connect with, and it's just
Exactly.
again that's the cool part about collecting and stuff. We've been talking about this whole time. But next we have a write-in from Mr. Anthony Goodman. And
my boy.
Anthony, this is not the rural farm boy Anthony. We have rural farm boy and we have Anthony Goodman. I believe you've got, I'm trying to remember your Twitter handle, buddy. But, you're on Facebook here. You don't have your C-3PO with red eyes logo either, icon, so I don't recognize in the picture. But anyway, Anthony says... though I have a few Funko Pops and Black Series figures, my favorites will always be something from UCS the UCS Lego collection.
Yes.
I might have chosen the TIE Fighter or Slave One, but my wife dropped a box on them when we moved houses,
Oh.
and they need rebuilding. So I'm going with my X-Wing, and he's got a picture here of a really sweet-looking just X-Wing. I'm trying to see exactly the engines on there. Yeah, it's like Luke's classic X-Wing,
Right.
and it's
That's
just
awesome.
that is a sharp looking Lego piece. It's even got it's on a stand
Yeah.
with the S foils in attack position, and it's how awesome are X-Wings, by the way.
They're just
gonna-
coolest. They're one of my favorite
Exactly.
designs.
I was gonna bring
I'm
up
excited for Poe's new X-Wing too. That orange one they dropped.
I'm so upset. I didn't get to get that new what was it, the Hasbro set that came with that new X-wing, because that Poe's new
like the
X-Wing, those
vintage
new
collection
X-Wing
one?
designs look incredible, and I could not find that X-Wing at any stores, so I'm upset about that, but I'll find it online at some point.
Yeah, for real.
Totally.
But I think I actually like it better than Black One.
Me too.
Is it Black One is the name of it?
I believe
correct?
so. Yeah.
Yeah, the Canon Junkie asks. But no, dude, it's just kind of a cool orange design stuff. But no, seriously, Anthony, thank you so much for sharing your X-Wing, man, and I hope that you get the TIE Fighter and other one rebuilt. A moment. Let's have a moment of silence for Anthony's Legos that got crushed by a box. All right, we're good. So Scott, that's really all we got, man. Guys,
Well, I
thank
thought
you
they were
so
both
much
fantastic.
for writing in and all this. What'd you say, Scott?
No, I think I love that we're getting Twitter and Facebook now. It's super special to us that we get to see both ends of our fandom and our fan community come together and
Yes.
seeing people comment and hang out. It's really kind of a beautiful thing. But yeah, no, I want to give a huge thanks to Jake. We are just so happy to have you here, dude. This has been a solid episode. We would need to have you back on. Would you be up for it?
Absolutely. I love being here. Bombad Cast
There you
forever.
go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
He's a
man.
Bombad fam official there.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Bombad crew,
Oh,
bud.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
man.
I feel so welcome.
That's good. Hey, we try, man. We try to make people feel welcome, but we're a little weird.
No,
you
you guys do
thanks.
great. Honestly, I love this show.
Oh, thanks, man.
Oh,
Thank you so. That
thanks,
really
dude.
is
This
so
is-
kind of you to say.
We're honored. We are honored. But before we even sign off or leave anything, we got to plug one thing, Jerry, the biggest thing in the show notes. What do we have to bring up and plug, my man?
We have coming up the end of this month, we're going to be starting the Bombad build-up to Rise of Skywalker. So don't forget, guys, don't forget the Bombad build-up. We're going to be watching and discussing each week every film in the saga, in the Skywalker saga, starting with The Phantom Menace. And so we are going to, if you haven't already gone to our Bombad family, the Bombad fam Facebook group, go look it up on Facebook and join that because we might be doing some watch parties on there.
Definitely. It might be of the trailer. It might be of something from the movie, and we can be discussing it and hanging out. So that's something that's going to be in the works in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, the Bombad build-up, we've got some amazing guests lined up. Some people you would not expect. Some people that you'll be like, man, how'd they get them? We got some people on there that are old friends, new friends. We've got people on there that you haven't even met before. So we've got this whole thing in the works, and I'm currently writing the format of the show right now, and I am just elated to get it on, because it's not only is it going to hype you up for it, but it's going to hype me up. It's going to make me have to watch the movies again, and I'm going to watch all 8 of these movies again until like week by week, and then you can do the same with us, and then you can see the Rise of Skywalker, and we can have one huge sesh hanging out and talking about it.
Yeah, man.
But
just a little disclaimer: we are not going to do Solo or Rogue One this year. But we
this year.
I'm thinking we might have to do, Scotty, maybe not a build it, but a watch along and full on episodes next year, maybe. Of
totally.
the spinoffs, because we gotta have some episodes on those too. But yeah, it's just gonna be strictly Skywalker Saga this year, guys. But dude, I'm excited, Scotty. I can't believe some of the people we've been able to come on and talk with us about these. This is gonna be
a big deal.
So seriously,
right, big deal.
Stay tuned here, guys. Stay tuned here. And again, Jake, thank you so much for coming on and being with us and hanging out, dude. You seriously just I don't know, I had a blast. That's all. That's all I got.
Thank you guys for having me. It was awesome.
But,
totally.
Hey, so Jake, where can the people find you on the interwebs? And man, you got anything you like to maybe? Anything you got to plug or whatever, just
he's got
to
plug his mad lightsaber skills.
Oh.
That's one thing he's got to plug.
More videos of that
dude,
coming
for real,
soon for
man.
sure. Life is finally slowing down for me.
Yes.
So I haven't stopped doing it. I just haven't been able to make videos. But yeah, that'll be coming soon. You can find me on Twitter at Jake from Yavin. Don't be confused by the Jundland Jake name. I am from Yavin and relocated to the Jundland Wastes of Tatooine recently. So, but yeah, Jake from Yavin on Twitter. That's really the only place you can find me, though. So there you go.
Perfect, man.
Awesome.
Hey, we're definitely going to be on the lookout for those videos and stuff. And just again, hey, you're another member of the Bombad fam now. So we're definitely going to be having Jake back on again, guys. So look forward to that.
Awesome.
Of course. And Jerry, where can the wonderful people in this Bombad community find you and your face and your Ewok eyes?
You can find me and occasionally my face on Twitter at the Canon Junkie. You can also I do some YouTube stuff. I did YouTube stuff. If you want to check us out there, you're mainly going to find me here at the Bombad Cast, and on Twitter you can find us at Bombadcast. So go follow us there. Go join the Bombad fam, a Bombadcast official Facebook group, and just give us some Bombad love, guys. Scotty, what about you?
You can find me on the Twitter. I'm sure most of you already follow me. If you don't, well, look, find me at the Scott Jarrow, and it's Scotty Jarrow on Twitter. I am always posting. It's been kind of a long week for me, so this week it's going to kick back into posting a little bit more. But yeah, find me there, and definitely come join our Facebook group, and you can always send me DMs. I'm always willing to talk about Star Wars and stuff, and I hope everyone has enjoyed this episode. And Jerry, one last thing, as always, what should the good people of this podcast listening crew, fam, squad, people do? What should they do?
They should, well, first of all, they should forgive me for the poor audio quality and country music ambiently sneaking into my recording, but they should also stay Bombad.
You shall all Bombad.